Redfield. Hello, hello. I'm live. So it says, let me adjust my chat from top chat to live chat and highlight you, Fred. Oh, thank you for being here. You are so faithful. How do you guys expect me to clean house? I just finished Sherri's live playing, and now probably an hour for jazz. LOL. So I don't know if you can clean house while you're listening. That's what I try to do. But cleaning house, what a waste of time. I'm just kidding. It's got to happen, right? So yeah, Shan had a really good live last night, didn't she? And you know what else happened last night at 3 a.m? I can't believe I caught it because I was like, yeah, I can't stay up for that. News Nation released a like 45 or 50-minute video of the freaking interview with JP Miller. Oh my God. Oh, Granny Annie is traveling again. Hola. And you did your live last night. Yay. Totally awesome. Oh, you guys, I got so much to cover today. I wanted to come on and just confirm that information about Linda Luchetti being the public relations expert hired by Sherri Papini and then by Kiely Rodni's family, which is completely insane because why would you hire a PR person when you have a missing child or when your child has been in a car accident? And especially, why would you hire a PR person who just covered a train wreck of a fake abduction? It says it all. I mean, these fools give themselves away, do they not? So let me start with my favorite, my creepy, Incredible Hulk type thumb. Please hit that like button if you guys would be so kind. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if you want to make sure that you're still subscribed, share my video if you like, turn on your notification bell to ring. And thank you so much for being in the chat. I always love what you guys have to say. And please comment in the comment section if you're on the replay crew, and I will try to respond to each and every one of you. I at least try to hit the like button and the heart button because the heart button lets you know that the content creator is the only one that can hit the heart button. Like even mods can't do that. Hey CB, good morning, good morning. So yeah, the situation with Linda Luchetti, I've been talking about that in my last few videos, and then I kind of went into this brain fog like we so often do. I'll just speak for myself, like I so often do. And I thought, is that true? Like that can't be real. It cannot be a confirmed thing that the same PR expert was hired by Sherri Papini when she was busted for shenanigans beyond measure, and then hired by a grieving family of a missing kid. What? So fake abduction. Interesting. So I went to my old faithful Google. Google's not always right, but often right. And I Googled Linda Luchetti, and actually no, first I asked Shan. I was like, Shan, because I just wanted to like do a shot in the dark. I was like, Shan, what's the name of the person? Because I thought it was Linda Luchetti, but I was like, it might be somebody else that they both had in common. So I asked Shan. She confirmed it was Linda Luchetti. Thank you so much, Squirrels on Fire. You are on fire. And then I plugged it into Google. Linda Luchetti, Kiely Rodni, and Linda Luchetti, Sherri Papini. And the Sherri Papini case is really big to me in drawing the parallels with Kiely Rodni's case because not only the fake abduction, but the timing and the geographical location. So for those of you that don't know, Redding, where Sherri Papini was fake kidnapped from, is about 3 hours drive from Truckee. So just a little bit further. No, I guess not as far as the 4-hour drive for Jägermeister from Napa County. But no, Napa County is closer than Shasta County. So yeah. And, the area, all of the area, the whole state of California is notorious for problems with trafficking. And isn't that one of the go-tos that Scott Peterson and his attorney tried to throw into the mix with Lacey Peterson? I remember they did the whole Titanic thing, but didn't they do the whole trafficking thing too? Yeah, like the whole Handmaid's Tale with the pregnant person getting abducted. Oh, Granny Annie traveling again. TikTok Tony has clients with missing kids. PR getting money from promoting something, in my opinion. TikTok Tony, that must be Dodge, like the guy with the All American Dream Chaser channel. Because I think he lives in Arizona, and yeah, there's a lot of missing kids like in his neighborhood, like down the street from him. I think that's what I've heard over the years. I have to use Walkman radio and headphones. Bloody vacuum is too loud. I know, isn't that awful? Plus, Pitbull is charging me with breach of contract due no promise ball throwing. LOL. Oh, that's so cute, Fred. Um, yeah, my little tiny dog, my Chewini, she'll attack. She wants to attack the vacuum cleaner, but there's nowhere to attack it. But she will like bite on to the end of the leaf blower. So I have to hold it up really high because she'll like bite onto it and then she's like dangling in the air. It's so funny. Nico, hello. Good to see you guys. So I want to get right into this material because there's so freaking much. So I wanted to read to you guys what happens when you Google Sherri Papini and Linda Luchetti, or when you Google Kiely Rodni and Linda Luchetti. And I'll put some of that into my links, of course. But I'm just going to do that real quick and read you the first thing that comes up. So Kiely Rodni, Linda Luchetti. And remember, Linda Luchetti is also the concierge for the Utah Jazz for a professional basketball team. So that's kind of weird. Like, what does a concierge do other than, make sure everybody has sandwiches and blankets and stuff? I don't know. Okay, so the very first thing that comes up is the Reno Gazette Journal, and it's August 26th, 2022. And this is what it says. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. The reward offered in the case of missing teen Kiely Rodni, which has climbed from $10,000 to $75,000 in the 2 weeks following her disappearance, won't go to Adventures with Purpose, the private dive team that found Kiely's body in Prosser Creek Reservoir, not far from where she went missing and not far at all from where 150 well-trained, some of the nation's finest were standing for 2 weeks, kicking the sand. Some of the largest donations will be returned to donors. Adventures with Purpose does not accept rewards, said Linda Luchetti, a spokesperson for the Rodni family. She said the reward was partially funded by a GoFundMe account set up for Linda Neiman, so they have that wrong, Lindsay Neiman, Kiely's mother, that has raised $63,000. Larger donations pledged to the reward have been returned, Luchetti said, because, yeah, they wanted to make sure it didn't go to Adventures with Purpose, in my opinion. I really think AWP was like set up to be the fall guy to find them, too, because, whoever finds the missing is going to be sus. That's the way law enforcement works. So we all know what happened to them. Let's see. They no longer exist. Or no, I guess they do, right? Jared brought it back just without the people that were there. Law enforcement confirmed that they had not helped organize the reward and had no knowledge or involvement in how it would be paid, of course. Kiely, 16, was last seen in the early morning of Saturday, August 6th at a party of 200 to 300 young people. Wait, I thought there were old creepy dudes there too. Young people at Prosser Family Campground, 10 minutes from the mountain town of Truckee, in a popular hangout for young people. The last data received from her cell phone was at 12:33 a.m. Saturday. Okay, I'm not going to read any more of that. Well, actually, I'll just read. I was going to say I'll read the rest of it because it's almost over, but no, it's not almost over. It keeps going and going. So that's if you Google Linda Luchetti with Kiely Rodni. Now, if you Google Sherri Papini, man, that woman hurt so many people. I don't know how she can live with herself. And the first thing that comes up is the Sacramento Bee. Sherri Papini arrested, charged with federal crimes in court. This is July 28th, 2022, you guys. So this is a week prior to Kiely's disappearance. 1 week, maybe like a week and a day, right? July 28th and then to August 6th, allegedly, if that's right, if that's accurate. Sherri Papini's children, age 7 and 9, were at piano practice with their mom in Reading on a morning in early March. Just then, a man came inside and told Papini her car had been hit. He was really an FBI agent. Oh, the dirty bastard. Another was waiting outside to place her in handcuffs. When they went to grab her, she screamed no. She tried to run. She threw her cell phone 20 feet. Man, these people just don't give up. These narcissists like Sherri Papini, like Scammy, and like JP, you have a very solid common thread with these narcissists. And that's what that interview that News Nation premiered at 3 a.m. last night. We're going to go over that. Hold on. After they put her in cuffs, they would drive her down the same freeway past where James Reyes, her ex-boyfriend, dropped her off to the Sacramento County Main Jail, which serves as a holding center for local prisoners accused of federal crimes. She'd spend the next 5 nights there. Papini's family remained very much in her corner on the day of her arrest, except her husband. I think that was the day he decided to file for divorce. The family hired a Utah public relations firm to issue a statement that night. The firm's founder, Chris Thomas, handled media relations for the family of Elizabeth Smart, whose kidnapping at age 14 also became a tabloid sensation. Sherri's family declined to be interviewed for this story, said Linda Luchetti, who's fielding media inquiries for the family on behalf of Thomas's firm. You know, because they don't know media. That's what Lindsay Rodney Neiman said. I'm not a media person, so I had to hire a media person. Well, interesting that you hired the same person that had just been hired for the Papini fake abduction. It's a glaring red flag, you guys, if not a flashing red light. Granny is traveling again. TikTok Tony jumped in to help Sebastian Rogers' family and one other, unconfirmed, to write grants for missing disabled children, unconfirmed, but calls them clients. Oh, so it's a different Tony. It's not. I mean, I told you guys a few videos ago about Tony. What are you thinking about, Tony? I'm just wondering, is he thinking about me? It's one of my favorite little, absolutely one of my favorite Kids in the Hall skits. You guys, what happened? I pinned it and then it unpinned itself. So now I'm going to try to repin it. Hey, everybody that's here. I appreciate you guys so much. CB, Nico, Fred Field, Oh Granny, Annie, anyone else that I'm missing? Not yet. Okay. So what I wanted to do is something that I haven't done before, which, if you guys don't mind, I don't know how this is going to work out. So you're going to be my guinea pigs. I want to play the News Nation video. I want to play parts of it, and then I want to stop it and interject what I have to say. And, you know, since I don't do that kind of technology on here, I've never had to really worry about strikes. I don't think I've ever been hit with a strike at all. But there's so many notes that I have from that I want to delve into, like a couple of pages. But first I want to say Sherri Papini not only abandoned her husband and her kids and her entire family when she fake abducted herself for 3 weeks, and then had her ex-boyfriend like putty in her hand, doing every stupid thing she wanted him to do. You know, he was hopelessly hung up on her and was hoping that she would come back to him in the end. He thought she was in a bad marriage and she was in a crisis and he was helping a friend out. I believe that. That's his story. He never got charged with anything. But the ex-boyfriend abruptly on Thanksgiving Day, she said, I want you to drop me off in the middle of nowhere, on the road near my house in the middle of nowhere, because I miss my kids and it's Thanksgiving. And he was crushed, not only because she was abandoning him, but she abandoned him on Thanksgiving. And like it's some kind of Thanksgiving miracle. Oh, look, mom came back. Those dirty rat bastard thugs returned their prey. And my goodness, did she beat the tar out of herself? She branded herself, you guys, with the word Exodus, which is, probably most people know, it's from the Bible and it's about slavery. I have no doubt that she felt like a slave, but that is neither here nor there. I mean, the woman set herself up. So the abandonment is just huge, huge, huge. And that's the core issue for any human. It's even more heightened for people with personality disorders. And in order to be a pathological liar, you kind of have to be a personality disordered person. I mean, it's not like a legal requirement, but it just goes hand in hand. So can we talk about those earrings too? Oh, yes, dear. They're coins. And what do they have on them? They have something, it's like an upside down moon. Can you see that? Things don't show up so well when you think they would. What is going on here? I don't know. Can I see? I need black. Can you see it? Let me see if I can do a black background for you, like with my little phone holder, and then I'll get to the stuff I'm trying to get to. There. Is it focused? Can you see it? So you see that like crescent moon that is open at the top. It's really cool. Anyway, it's a coin from somewhere. I don't know if you can zoom in and find out, but I don't even know if it says on it. It might not be like a money coin. It might just be like an artsy coin. But yeah, I love them. Anyway, we're talking about cases, Nico. And I'm just kidding. And I got my cute little periwinkle glass cube necklace because, I have a thing for not only orbs, but for squares and rectangles and all kinds of geometric shapes. I like shapes. Okay, here we go. Okay, so JP says at the beginning of this interview for News Nation, which is great that he finally took a clue from all the people on YouTube that were saying, dude, if you have something to say, why are you sitting down with Flo from TikTok? Why don't you go to a reputable investigative journalist? And I don't know, News Nation is kind of, I like Brian Etten, I like Elizabeth Vargas. Me no like Ashley Banfield. Me no like a few of them. They are just tabloid investigative journalists. Not Brian Etten. I really like Brian Etten. I think he's solid. And same with Elizabeth Vargas. But Ashley Banfield, I just can't even stand her voice. She's an actress. She's an actress. Anyway, so JP says when the person interviewing him, and forgive me, I forget the man's name, but we'll show it on the phone here with my technology. Why are you coming out now with an interview? And he says, oh, because I finally got the approval from my attorney. Okay, that was lie number one, I believe. It might have been multiple lies prior to that, but that was the first lie I wrote down. And then I have a page and a half, almost 2 pages of solid lies. I couldn't keep up. I could not keep up. So let's just go ahead and see how this works with playing it. He also remembered to look distressed and cried. Another tip from the audience. And he kept playing with his nose. Did you notice that, Nico? It just can't help but wonder. And he also kind of talked about the voices in his head, and he did this. How did he phrase it? And when he was about to say something and he stopped himself and he said, oh no. He goes like this. Oh, no, I don't remember that. And he wasn't even asked a question. He just changed his mind about saying something. And then it's like he's responding to the voices in his head, but I don't know, maybe the video was definitely cut and spliced. But he immediately starts talking about how he can't say it because he would enunciate wrongly, and um and there was like a crashing of everything going on in his head. That's what he said when he put his hand up. And I was like, you mean like, you know, auditory hallucinations? Just saying. And then he says, I'm not a detective, but I watched Scooby-Doo growing up. That's what everybody is acting like on YouTube. It's like, okay, he's not a detective, but we know he's worked closely with a number of private investigators, which are detectives by definition. And then he's trying to make fun of everybody with the whole Scooby-Doo thing, which I'm just like, those darn kids. My other favorite one is Ruh-roh. All right. And he continues with, then he says, this is one of the best parts, but I'll get to it. I'm going to play it. Are you trying to ask me if I think somebody red-rummed her? No. And he goes on to talk about the self-induced whatever. But wait, a couple of weeks ago when he was going to come out with those 350 pieces of evidence, he was also going to reveal who was responsible. And he was not alluding to that being her. Oh my God. He said so many crazy things. So let's see if I can do this. Let's see how this goes with they've come out with several things since, of course. They come out with a lot. But just in the last 19 minutes, well, that was just a Banfield podcast that's 43 minutes long. I don't know what that is. An hour ago, they dropped a 5-minute, 45-second short. We can watch that, but I want to stay focused because I think this might be a long video already. The one that they dropped at 3 a.m., the premiere. Where'd it go? How many hours has it been? They didn't take it down, did they? 3 a.m., isn't that like 8 hours ago? I don't see it on here. They couldn't have. They could not have taken that down. Come on. That's crazy. Maybe they did. Maybe they took it down, you guys. That would be so freaking crazy. At least I watched it. But, okay, no, maybe it's this one, the Banfield podcast. Is that the one? I'm going to have to just test it real quick. Sorry to be fubbing you guys. Nico says he also wanted justice for Micah, or so he said, and indicated someone did something to her. Tapping that like button on the way in. Yes, Sunset Salty Sage. Hello, hello. Xena Warrior. Okay, so let's see. I don't think this is it. Okay, it is. It is. So they premiered it at 3 a.m., but they've taken it down, and now they just put it back up. Well, this says 11 hours ago. This is so confusing. And they put it back up as a podcast. So weird. I don't understand. Anyway, so let me. And Micah's own EOS, not his power of the pain of reality. I saw it coming for years. I told them. Okay, so he saw this coming for years, the pain of the reality, and John Paul on the suicide. Okay. He's just such a nice guy. He knew this was going to happen for years because, he's psychic and he's so smart. And he hasn't even read a book about psychology. He knows nothing about psychology. Anyway, let's get going on this. Please remember to like. There's just a couple handfuls of us in here. Every like counts. Thank you, Nico. And if you want to share the link on any platform like TikTok or Facebook, that's also good too. But I can't believe that I got to see this with me own eyeballs and it's been taken down. And so now let's just go with, it's just audio. Let's see, get my thing here. the alibi that satisfied the police. Not his haters. If not his haters.
You and I have been talking since this happened, basically, communicating over text. Why now? Why the decision to speak now after all this time has passed? Where's your head at?
You can hear it. I got the mic right here.
I think part of it is I finally got the approval of my attorneys to do so. They, the ones working on the defamation cases, they said it's easier.
I finally got the approval of my attorneys to do so. I kind of doubt his attorneys would want him to be doing this. I think he's one of these hard-headed people who's just like, I'm going to do it. He's just trying to save face. All of the trash that's out there on him, he's got a deflection and an excuse for every single thing. Everything that he did to Micah that's public, he's trying to cover and say, no, I didn't do that to her. She did that to me. Typical narcissist, typical abuser, typical Jack A-hat.
To win a defamation case, the more the people talk. And so they've been collecting a lot of evidence.
And let me just say right here, defamation case, the way that people talk. So he thinks that people speaking about him, that he can shut them up by threatening with defamation cases. Okay. Freedom of speech. And as long as what you're saying isn't just made up crap, you have reason to believe that it's true. Freedom of speech.
The past while. And also I think that now that some of the emotion has died down in the world and with people that are led by their feelings, I think now they deserve to hear some logic and some truth.
Oh, and, wait, we get logic and truth. Finally, JP's come to rescue all of us wandering uteruses. Thank you, JP. Thank you.
And make their own assessment.
Do you miss her?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Did you hear that? You don't even have to have a visual. You heard that, right? And again, is that fake tears or is that like powdered stuff in the nose or both?
Yes, sir.
Did you see this coming?
Yes, but it doesn't change at all the power of the pain of reality. I saw it coming for years. I told them for years this would happen over. And I said, if she gets off her medicine.
The power of the pain of reality. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Little buzzwords. 75 cents right there. Power, pain, reality. Oh, dude. Cashing in. Okay, this whole thing about her freaking medicine. If she went off of her medicine, she would unalive herself. Like, no, that's not typically what happens when people go off their medicine. If a person has bipolar 1 and they go off their lithium or whatever medication, they usually will have a manic episode and a crisis, not necessarily self-interest. He's just jumping straight to that, but he never says she has bipolar 1. He's always claiming she has bipolar 2, which lithium is pretty much never prescribed for bipolar 2. Lying sack of crap.
Suicide is the next thing. She tried it in the past, but with me, she always remained okay. With me, she was on her meds. With me, she was.
With me, she always remained okay. With me, she was always on her meds.
And happy. And if she did get low or stop taking her medicine, I would help her get back on it, and things would be fine. Without me,
such a good guy. Such a good guy.
She's off meds, and she committed suicide. And I told them this would happen.
I
tried my best to stop her from getting a gun. I went to judges. I have copies of all the police. I talked to her counselor, the pastor she was going to, her family, her friends. I told them all, don't let her get a gun. Do whatever it takes, prevent her from getting a gun. And when she was with me, she was never able to go that far. But with them, that's exactly what happened, and it destroyed me. And I still haven't really.
With me, she was never able to go that far, but with them, she did. So Sunset Salty Sage, thanks for coming in and saying hi and bye. And remember, facts ain't defamation. BJ investigates that surprise witness. Love ya, mean it. K-bye. You're sweet. Sunset Salty Sage. Raised from perdition 2 times. What up, what up, what up? Hi all, can't type much. I'm watching and learning. Jazz, I emailed you a link to this interview. It's still up as well as 7 minutes. Oh, Okay, 7 minutes cut. Okay. I'm going to just continue with this one, though.
Grasp it.
Thank you. I'll look at that.
I kind of keep putting off the reality of it, and I try not to think about it as much as I can.
What was going on in your marriage the week Micah died?
The week she died, we didn't talk that entire week. I emailed her several times that week, and my
wait a second. He gets into so many contradictions. It's great. Okay, he emailed her several times that week. Okay, later he starts to say that he emailed her 4 times that day, and that he only found out the day of this interview. He realized that she only read 2 of them. But he's just like all over the place. So this is why it's good to listen and take notes. And he should do the same, but we're not giving him any hot tips. So good, Nico has it screen recorded. Excellent. I'm going to like hit that when I mean to hit this.
Letters telling her that I love her, and she came over to the house. The last time I saw her was a few weeks before she passed away. We spent about 4 hours together, and
last time he saw her, she came over to the house a few weeks ago. They spent about 4 hours together. A little bit later, he says last time he saw her was when he took her to court.
Hugged and kissed, and she was in and out of psychotic conversations. She would say, one thing about double agents that are following her. That was one of the phrases.
Do you want to bet that double agents is the phrase that he uses for people in his church that he can't trust? I doubt she uses that term, double agent, but yeah, it does make you sound a little paranoid and psycho, huh?
She would use when she was off her meds, double agent. The other phrase she would say, she wants to come home so bad, but her family won't let her. She told me she wanted to live in Africa and asked me if I'd live with her. I said, sure.
Okay, her family's not going to try to control her. She's 30 years old. Who even speaks like that? Won't let her. She's 30 years old. She's her own agency. She has complete control over her own life, but he thinks he can control her. So then he starts accusing her family of trying to control her. He admits his stalkers were on it. Yes, exactly.
Taking medicine, and so she told me if I'd give her some money and if I would write her a letter saying certain things in this letter that she would.
What, a letter of recommendation and some money? Yeah, she's just so mean. She's just leveraging him. She forced him to write the email where he apologizes for the perverted photograph on Facebook. She forced him, according to him, like she practically had a firearm to his head.
Take her medicine, and so I tried that, and but she desperately wanted to come home. She was just so afraid her family would disown her. And so the week before she passed away.
But wait, her family and her had a strained relationship ever since he started putting her up with other people in the church saying that she was abused. Remember that when she was a teenager? No, her and her family were tight at this point.
I probably emailed her maybe 7 or 8 times that week just saying, I love you. You need your lithium. Don't forget who you are when you're on medicine versus who you are when you're off. She had lost 40 pounds in a month, and nobody that was in her life thought to take.
Okay, first of all, I don't think she lost 40 pounds ever. I've seen pictures of her over time. She always had an amazing figure. There are times where she's a little bit curvier and times where she's a little less curvier, but there's no 40 pounds that fell off in a month. And even if it did, that's neither here nor there. But I mean, the man exaggerates and lies, just straight up freaking lies. Like, oh, she's starving to death. See, when she's not with me, she's just going to wither away and die. She needs me.
Care of her. Nobody. She was living with a former registered nurse. Her family, quote unquote, were taking care of her. She lost 40 pounds in 1 month, and no one thought she needed help. She was talking about living in Africa. No one thought she needed help. She's making videos on Facebook, and if you see the videos, you know it's not her because she has a different.
You know it's not her because she has a different cadence. She speaks too many words per minute. What, like you, JP? Like you seem to like have that pressured speech. That's a characteristic of a manic episode. No, she seems completely together in her freaking videos. He just thinks he can write any narrative he wants. Nico, give me some money and write a confession or I won't take your money. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Oh, and she threatened him, if you pay me money and you write a confession, I'll move back in with you. Allegedly, according to him. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
It's a different tone, a different amount of words per minute when she's healthy and on medicine than when she's off. And the way she was even looking into space when she's taking those videos, you knew she was delusional. And if somebody loved her enough.
Looking into space when you're making a video, okay? I mean, I've made a lot of videos the last couple of years. And yeah, it's nice to look at you guys so that I can make eye contact with you. When I'm reviewing my videos, I love it when I'm making eye contact. But it does make you a little self-conscious, especially when you're new at it, to be looking at yourself in the frame, because it's like looking in a mirror. So there's a lot of times when you look off to the side because you don't want to be self-conscious. So he's just such a fool. And yeah, thank you, Nico. I like what you said here. He was her RN was her godmother. Say that. Yeah. The person that she was staying with, whose apartment has the Ring doorbell cam of her leaving for work that day and going to the gym earlier, that's the retired nurse that was her godmother. Harsh one, Shelly, hello. Zena and I was in Squirrels on Fire last night trying to celebrate 5 months of membership, and I still didn't get it fixed. It's in Discord, so I can fix it. Long live Kiely. Good to see you. Yeah, let's see. Do you like my hat? Sorry, not sorry.
To a professional and say, okay, this woman says she's being abused, or this woman says, this, or she's lost 40 pounds in a month. If someone thought I need to take her to a professional, that professional would have known that she needed medicine. And the reason I know that's true is because I took her a few months before she...
Wait, if someone thought I needed to take her to a professional, like he's talking in circles. And the way I know is because I did take her to a professional. Double think, double speak. Oh.
Before she passed away, I took her to probate court. And in 3 minutes time,
Wait. He took her to probate court 2 weeks ago when he just said the last time he saw her was 3 or 4 weeks ago when she came over to his house, I think, and was like hugging and kissing him. And they were at the house for like 4 hours. Okay.
When I went in, they said, your wife is mentally ill.
So she went into court. This is what I get. And then after she came out, he went in to try to control the narrative and to talk to them and get information out of them, which he also did with her counselor. He's such a freaking rat bastard.
She needs medicine desperately. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's get her the medicine. Let's get her help. And they said she's not a danger to anybody in society, so we can't force her to do it. But if one of her family members or friends...
Okay, wait a second. Danger to anyone in society. Okay, it's the same thing. Danger to self or danger to others. If somebody is self-injurious, it's one and the same. Danger to self or others. You don't even have to distinguish. And you don't have to be an active threat to yourself or someone else. If you've decompensated so profoundly that you can't function and that makes you a threat to yourself or someone else, that also counts. You don't have to be trying to hurt people. If you're like unable to feed yourself, which he's saying she is, then...
The way she was acting and seeing what was happening to her physically and taking her to just one professional, they could have saved her life.
But wait, he did take her to professionals. He just said that. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth.
When Micah died. It was on a Saturday.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm like interrupting every 3 seconds. Where were you when Micah passed? He was with 100 witnesses. You guys, wait a second. This is great.
Charleston with about 100 people from my kids.
Sorry. See, this is why I should have no ads. So he was with about 100 people, and he's got receipts and everything.
What was it?
Oh, soccer. It was a soccer tournament.
Okay, so we know, I've gone through Micah's last day, pretty much almost down to the minute. Bring us through your last day. You said soccer. Do you have any documentation that they were there?
Oh, you're asking because, okay, I got you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't believe people. Oh my.
Oh, wait, you're asking because, yeah, I got you. This is hilarious.
Lord. So yeah, I was with about 100 people. We had dinner that night. We were all together at the soccer field.
Wait, I was with about 100 of my very best friends. They were all looking right at me, taking pictures. No, I'm just kidding.
That day, afterwards, after the soccer game, somebody was with me the entire time, who I can't name due to legal purposes.
I made sure that somebody was with me the entire time. Okay, well, this is all after the fact. This is at night.
But I will say it's somebody that I love more than anything else on planet Earth.
Man or woman?
Can't say.
Young person that I cannot name due to legal purposes.
He's so good.
Somebody that I am responsible for and love very, very much. And that person was with me, and we went shopping in Charleston, and we got food in Charleston, and there's all the receipts from that throughout the time.
It was Veronica Adams who said he's got too many timestamps, just like Scott Peterson.
I think we might have gotten gas too, and then
gas too.
And made it back to Myrtle Beach. And I was just actually looking today at emails that I sent her that day. I sent her 4 emails that day, and I just noticed today that 2 of those she wasn't able to read because it was after it had happened.
What do you think happened?
Wait, after it happened. So he's saying that something happened. He's not saying it's after she did it. He said it was after it happened. So let me look at my notes here, make me sure I have everything that I wanted to. So he claims he saw it coming. If she gets off her meds, it's the self-unaliving is the next thing. I told them this would happen. Okay, we're getting to this part where he talked to her freaking counselor. Complete breach of ethics. Complete breach of ethics. I don't care if this counselor was a pastor. That's how he was able to manipulate, because probably somebody that he's got some leverage over. The last time I saw her was a few weeks before she passed away. And then, 2 weeks before she passed away, he took her to probate court. So did he take her to court? I mean, he makes it sound like he gave her a ride, but no, I think he took her to court. We'll see. And then he gave her money and wrote her a letter of recommendation so that she would come home. Yeah. You make so much sense, so much logic, so much truth. Thank you, JP, for clarifying everything, because we were all so confused with our Scooby-Doo skills, right? Decided to hit lunch early to stay here. I will clean after. Oh, you are so sweet, Fred. I don't want to throw off your day, but I love you for your commitment. You're awesome. Yeah. It's so sick, these poor victims of these narcissists. And then like with JP, just like with Scammy, they won't stop trashing the victim. They won't stop hurting and defaming the victim even after the victim is wiped out. Have any of those 100 people at that soccer event come forward? Someone he loves more than anyone in the world, not Micah. Well, I think he's alluding to it being a kid of his, but yeah, it could be Susie Cream Cheese. Somebody he's responsible for. So yeah, he makes it sound like it's one of his kids, because it was he has a kid that was in that soccer thing, like a 12-year-old kid. So Nico, is he sure there were not 300 to 400 people at that soccer match? Like, good one, Fred. Yeah. And I thought he paid for dinner for everybody. That was what one of the people that he bought dinner for said.
And that day.
So, according to what she's tried to do in the past, and according to her doctors who have taken care of her for years, and according to me who's seen it over and over again, I imagine that she was in an incredibly euphoric attitude. I saw her pictures on the Dick's Pawn Shop. Someone sent me screenshots of the Dick's Pawn Shop pictures where she's smiling.
Oh, wait. He didn't see that video. Someone sent him screenshots. He definitely didn't see that video, okay? But yeah, the after it happened is where I want to draw your attention back to. And so he gets into this part in a second about her 4 friends, the closest people in her life, that nobody has interviewed the 4 friends that she spoke with the most. And that one of them said to him a couple of years ago that she said, like, talk about hearsay, that if I ever commit the act, I'm going to go to Lumberton State Park. Okay, you guys ready? Seriously. What effery.
Which out of the 6 or 7 times that she tried to commit suicide in the past, only one of those times was she depressed. The other times she was very euphoric. And she would wake up and say, I think I'm supposed to die today. And I said, no, honey, you're not going to do that. She said, well, my mind tells me that I'm supposed to kill myself. I said, we're not going to listen to your mind.
We're not going to listen to your mind. I'm thinking that this is probably like a replaying of something that happens with him and his delusions of grandeur, that he would wake up in the morning and think, this is my day to meet Jesus. Just like when he's laying on the grass and he's like, I just want to go to Jesus and have dinner with him really quick, right away.
We're going to take you to a doctor and get you help. And I discovered, of course, that she had stopped taking her meds each time. But either way, she was in a euphoric attitude. So you see the Dick's Pawn Shop video where she's wearing her work clothes and with a smile on her face. So they sold her a weapon.
Crocodile tears.
I assume that she drove. She told one of her best friends. So far, the four people she spent the most time with every week, no one's interviewed or talked to those 4 people. And one of those people that I talked to told me that she told her 2 years ago, if I ever commit suicide, I'm going to go to this place in Lumberton, the state park.
Oh my God, it's almost laughable, but it's so freaking creepy. The gaslighting, and he talks so fast, and this is typically what gaslighters do. You just cannot keep up with them. Okay, take a breath. And
I probably wouldn't want to name her because I saw this friend one time here in public for 30 seconds. And of course, Robbie S. Harvey, as usual, got somebody to take it.
That damn Robbie Stinky Harvey out, not just ruining JP's life, but ruining this friend of Micah's who saw him once for 30 seconds. And then Robbie just like trashed her life.
Picture and destroyed the girl's life, brought up her past and horrible things about her. So people are scared to tell the truth or to talk about it.
And I'm going to bet you that this is the woman that had the history of woman identified lovers that he blackmailed.
Things of Micah because of the social media.
So this friend says that Micah told her, if I'm going to take my life, I will probably do it in Lumberton River State Park.
She told me that after Micah passed away, but she told me that Micah told her that 2 years ago. Yeah.
Did she say why? Why that look?
You see, I mean, even without visually seeing how fast his lips are moving, she told me that she told me that 2.5 years ago. He's talking so fast, the pressured speech. And that's one of the tactics of the gaslighter, is just to run so fast you can't keep up with them.
She said because Micah told her it was peaceful and outdoors. And Micah did love the outdoors. Loved the outdoors.
Wait, Micah said it was peaceful and outdoors. But in a second, he says she's never been there. Okay. Lumberton, the town, is the most dangerous city in North Carolina. I did a video about this a few weeks ago. It's a lot like Flint, Michigan. It's a very depressed town, high violence, high crime, decades of corruption in the law enforcement. And it's right on an interstate, too. I was looking at the map a couple days ago.
Vacations were outdoory vacations because that's what she loved. But
have you ever been there?
No, not that I know of. Not ever that I know of.
Do you guys have any connection to that area?
Not at all.
Have you ever been there?
Nope. I've never even heard of the place.
Wait a second. He's never even heard of it. So his lawyer that he's business partners with owns 200 acres of property right there. But this is where liars always get themselves hung up. This kind of reminds me of my father when he said he'd never heard of carbon monoxide poisoning. So he says he's never even heard of Lumberton State Park. It's very, very close to the border of South Carolina. And, you know, his father frequents state parks and his lawyer owns 200 acres right there. So instead of just saying, no, I haven't been there, I've never even heard of it. Pretty sure he's been in South Carolina his entire life, like Myrtle Beach, his entire life. He's probably heard of it. And I mean, it sounds like a nice place, but let's just keep going here. Over-explaining his offing her. How many times did he save her? Thousands, Granny Annie. He's such a great person.
I heard of, was the city of Robinson County. I've never been heard of there before.
So did it strike you as...
Never heard of Robinson County either.
Did it strike you as odd
Robeson.
when you heard that where she went and what they say allegedly happened? Did you question it at all?
Wait, and I don't know any law enforcement in Robeson County ever. Never. I didn't even know Robeson County had law enforcement. I mean, of course, I'm exaggerating, but he might as well say that, right? His father also allegedly has a history of nefarious activities at the same park. True, Nico, not just state parks in South Carolina, but that state park, Lumberton. Yep. It's where people do deals, is state parks. You know, the whole fuzzy jurisdiction, I like to call it. Sorry, you guys.
Well, I didn't think it was real. I thought her family had made it up and had somebody call me and say that. So that's one big thing.
Okay, he's the one who would make something up and have somebody call somebody, right? Now he's trying to accuse her family of doing the kinds of things that he does. He's a crazy person.
I didn't think it was real. When I found out it was real, you know how like you tell somebody something, you tell them, then when it happens, you don't want to say I told you so because it's a horrible thing.
But you say I told you so anyway?
I felt like I told y'all, like I told her family this so many times you can't imagine. I told her friends this.
Didn't he make a video where he said I told you so? Or that he left them a voicemail and said I told you so? Her family.
Everybody, I said, if y'all don't get her lithium, she's going to commit suicide. Her doctor told her this on paperwork where her doctor said this. And
oh, wait, on paperwork? Her doctor wrote this on paperwork. I don't think so. If a doctor were to write that on paperwork and then it were to happen, that doctor would be liable. No doctor is going to write that unless they're hospitalizing the person. And until they can deem the person safe, they're not going to release them. Okay, Lumber is the park, and thank you, Nico, and Lumberton is the town. He's having fuzzy reference, so he somehow looks uninvolved, but it's overly obvious. Yeah, I thought I was doing that too. For the clarity, that's awesome. And hello, JR Nana Boomer, love and light to all. I love your little icons there, your little emojis. Oh, Granny Annie is traveling again. I'm on your channel right now. I didn't forget you're live, just got tied up, but I don't see it there. Okay, the live is on that other one, the, in my opinion, Dinky IMO, right? That's where the live from last night, Dinky IMO. I have not been able to get into the Micah case, too focused on Kiely and Madeline Soto. See, and I've stayed out of the Madeline Soto case pretty much because gross little tiny 13-year-old MFs.
And then when I get the call, I felt like the world's biggest failure because I spent the past 3 months when her family got her out of the hospital and didn't bring her home. And her dad talked her into buying him a car and all this.
Man, the way he makes her sound like a freaking basket case child that does nothing for herself. Everything she does is either done for her by her family or by him. Like, no, she's a grown arse woman, 30 years old, free will, stable, good head on her shoulders. It's obvious. She doesn't look crazy in freaking videos, you jerk. You look crazy in all your videos.
What was happening? It was all crazy. I made a vow that I was going to do something every single day to try to get her back on her lithium and save her life. And so
every single day he was going to do something. So here he's checking off that every single day he did 1 to 8 things that I'm pretty much sure was stalking her, but another way to phrase it was him trying to save her life. No, this is him stalking her.
Every day I did something. Sometimes I did 4, 5, 6, 7 things. Some days it's just one thing. But every day, whether it was an email, a text, visit someone, talk to a family member, talk to a friend, go somewhere, go to a judge, go to probate, I'm going to do something to save her life. And I spent every single day for those 3 months doing that. So
it's called stalking and harassing, dude.
That phone call made me feel like the world's greatest failure. I was against the whole world because everyone told me that it wasn't true and that I was making it up and that whatever they were saying. So it was me against the world for 3 months, and I failed.
What was the call, and who was the...
He's just like, I can't remember nothing. Hold on. This is funny. And he won't stop touching his nose. He won't stop touching his nose at this part. So unfortunately, I can't show you that. But yeah, we don't want to see his nose anyway. He's got a freaky looking nose, which might be from doing a lot of the powdered stuff, because that'll mess up your cartilage and stuff. That would not surprise me if he's had a lifelong habit there. Every day for 2 months, I did something to save her life. 1 to 7 things a day. That stalking and harassing. Okay, so now he called a police chief, a captain, someone I know around here who already knew. So, police chief, captain, I don't know who they were.
I think it was a detective. I think, and I remember him being very calm and very nonchalant. And so that's why I thought, well, this is not real. And so I started screaming. I had a family member that was there with me. I started screaming for them to use their phone.
Wait, did he have a witness that was there with him? Is that what he just said?
To call the hospital where the guy said she was at. And my family member called the hospital and said it was real. And I still didn't believe it. And so I called.
This man doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. He does not know the difference between fantasy and reality, in my humble opinion. Oh, I didn't do my disclaimer, did I? Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of having a conversation, hoping to have a discussion with you guys and learn something and be educational. All my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. So let's continue. Sounds like projection 101, huge trait of narcissists. Right. They're constantly turning the tables. And whoever it is that they're victimizing, they'll cry victim and say that that person's victimizing them. You are 100% on it, Granny Annie.
A police chief that I know somewhere around here, captain or somebody.
Police chief, captain, I don't even know. I don't know.
There's a detective named such and such on the phone telling me these things.
Name such and such. I missed that part. I knew I needed to listen to it twice. A detective named such and such. That's like the best quote from here. OMG.
Like, is this real? Is this a real person or not? And that person told me that it was real as well. And I just
Mike's down here.
I remember screaming really loud and throwing up everywhere.
Oh, wait, you guys. This is the TMI. He threw up spaghetti everywhere, lots of red stuff all over the place. Like, he won't stop talking about it. This is really gory. It's like, were there worms in your spaghetti, dude? Was it your intestines too? It's like the freaking Exorcist. Would it just like projectile vomit across the room? And he's still wearing his wedding band. Okay.
What did they tell you?
I remember throwing up. Did I have spaghetti that day? It was a lot of throw up. It was something red. I'm sorry.
What did they tell you?
You hear that? So he doesn't even answer the question. I'm going to back it up here. I haven't been backing it up at all. He repeats himself. So a lot of times when I pause it and replay, he's repeating what he just said. This is the first time I'm backing it up. I'm at 15:33. I'm going to back it up to about 15. Let's see. Here we go.
I remember screaming really loud and throwing up everywhere. And
what did they tell you?
I remember throwing up.
What did they tell you?
Spaghetti that day. It was a lot of throw up.
He's
it was something red.
Thinking.
What did they tell you?
Buying more time. What did they tell you?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember that.
Wait. That's where he does. That's my favorite part, where he goes, oh, no, I don't remember that. So he is about to say something, but then he like second guesses himself and realizes that what he was about to say is a really bad idea. Okay, so this is at the 15-minute and 38-second mark. And can we hear more about the vomit, please? I just got to rewind that again a tiny bit, just to like 15:20. Let's see.
Throwing up everywhere.
Poor guy.
And
so sad.
What did they tell you?
I remember throwing up. Did I have spaghetti that day?
Did I say
It was
throw
a
up?
lot of throw up. It was
More
something
throw up.
red. I'm sorry.
What did they tell you?
I don't remember that. Oh, no, I don't remember that.
You hear that? Oh,
hold on.
No, I don't remember that.
I don't remember what he said.
Hold on.
My family member called the hospital.
I don't remember what he said.
Spoke to, I think, either the head nurse or medical examiner or somebody. And that lady read me stuff that the Robinson County.
That lady read me stuff that Robinson County sent over. Okay, that lady is not going to do that. She's a hospital employee. I'm not buying it. He's trying to say this is how he knew stuff that he wasn't supposed to know. This is how he knew it before anybody told him, was through this mystery lady at the hospital.
I guess it wrote on a piece of paper, and she was reading me.
Wrote on a piece of paper.
And the weapon and where it was at and all these different facts.
Facts.
And so.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Then because the detective would not tell me it was suicide. And then I called him back and told him what the hospital told me, and he was pissed off and asked me who that lady's name was, and I didn't know her name. And if I didn't know, I wasn't going to tell him anyway, because I'm glad she told me.
And I didn't know her name, and if I didn't know, I wasn't going to tell him anyway, because I'm glad he told me. Oh, man, he just puts 5 ideas into a split second, doesn't he? So thank you, Fred. Thanks, Jazz. I'm eating eggplant parmesan, lots of red stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, and so, and I said, is this stuff true? And I can't remember if he said yes or just hung up. I don't remember.
I don't remember if he said yes or just hung up. Yeah, the guy who is calling him with formal notification just hung up on him. Yeah, sure. Liar, pants on fire.
Do you remember what he said, though?
Oh, man,
can't remember nothing.
You're not going to believe this, but you were supposed to get $1,900 to cover the cost of your car insurance with a new loophole. I don't remember it all. If I try to enunciate it, I'll probably be making something up.
Oh wait, this is my favoriteest part. This is my most favorite part. If I try to enunciate it, I'll probably be making something up. If I try to enunciate it, this is when he's gesturing to the voices in his head. He literally taps on his head, you guys. Crashing of everything going on in his head. I'm not a detective, but I watch Scooby-Doo. Okay, you guys ready? This is some of the best part or worst. Come on, phone.
All the crashing of everything going on, so I can't tell you for sure.
Did you ever question the findings that the authorities gave to you that this was suicide?
No, I mean, I'm not a detective. I watched Scooby-Doo growing up, but that's what everybody seems to be acting like, is they're part of the mystery machine. But my Lord, let my wife, let her be at peace. She's in heaven. She's not.
Yeah, you rat bastard. Let her be at peace. Quit abusing her after she's deceased. The man is a freaking monster.
About all this stuff, let her rest. Let her memory rest. She has suicidal tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially. She went to Dick's Pawn Shop before, purchased a weapon, and tried to do the same thing. She drove out in the middle of nowhere. She called 911, left a voice message. I don't really understand what else could be.
So wait, he it's like he's recalling her doing this before. He's kind of trying to claim that she's done this before, that she's driven to Dick's Pawn Shop before and bought a weapon before and driven out to the middle of nowhere before. And then he's convoluting it right into present tense. I got to rewind that. I'm at 17 minutes, 38 seconds. I'm going to go back to about 30 seconds. Let's see. Oh man, what a freaking nut.
No, I mean, I'm not a detective. I watched Scooby-Doo growing up, but that's what everybody seems to be acting like, is they're part of the mystery machine. But my Lord, let my wife, let her be at peace. She's in heaven. She's not worrying about all this stuff. Let her rest. Let her memory rest. She has suicidal tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially. She went to Dick's Pawn Shop before, purchased a weapon, and tried to do the same thing. She drove out in the middle of nowhere. She called 911, left a voice message. I don't really understand what else could be. But you know what? I'm not a professional, so I don't.
Did you hear that? How he was trying to say she's done this before, but then he turns it into what's happening right now. He's a master manipulator. Oh, but I'm not a professional. I don't know nothing. But, you know, he's a professional gaslighter. Let's give him that. He's 100% a professional gaslighter. Nico Mingo, artificial intelligence. Yeah. I haven't listened to the tapes that people have been putting out on YouTube that have like open mica file and stuff like that in the background, like grab her arms. So I know that there's a lot of people who have researched this and believe that it's artificial intelligence doing Micah's voice. I haven't heard those yet. I want to. So if anybody has a good recommendation of where to go to hear that, please share it with me. So I'm going to go back again just a few seconds because this is such a key part. Okay, here we go.
Growing up, but that's what everybody seems to be acting like, is they're being a part of the mystery machine. But my Lord, like, let my wife, let her be at peace. Like, she's in heaven. She's not worrying about all this stuff. Let her rest. Let her memory rest. She has suicidal tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially. She went to Dick's Pawn Shop before, purchased a weapon, and tried to do the same thing. She drove out in the middle of nowhere. She called 911, left a voice message. I don't really understand what else could be.
Wait.
But you know what? I'm not.
She called 911 and left a voice message. Wait a second, you guys. This is why you got to listen to things so many times. So I think he just gave it away, that the artificial intelligence was using a voice message that she left. Holy crap, you guys. I'm having a Scooby-Doo moment. Okay, so that's it. 17 minutes, 38 seconds. That's where I've stopped it 3 times. And I'm just going to back it up once more, just the slightest bit. That is crazy. She called 911 and left a voice message. Okay, thank you for telling us how you did it.
Tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially. She went to Dick's Pawn Shop before, purchased a weapon, and tried to do the same thing. She drove out in the middle of nowhere. She called 911, left a voice message. I don't really understand what else could be. But you know what? I'm not a professional, so I don't know.
In other words, it all added up to you. It made sense to you.
I mean, I'm not a detective. If she had heart surgery, I'm not going to question the heart surgeon. I don't know anything about detective work at all.
Right,
but he's so smart. He should be a heart surgeon. So J.R. Nana says, I haven't been following Micah. God gave me a narcissist of my own I've been engaging with for 20 plus years until I stop engaging, as if he will change, nothing will change. And that's the truth. Tiger does not change its stripes at all, ever. She's in heaven because someone took her life. Bible says sacrifice goes down, not up.
It's your wife. I mean, it's, and them telling you her life has ended.
Are you trying to ask me if I think somebody murdered her?
Wait, that's a key moment. Are you trying to ask me if I think somebody red-rummed her? Because that's not what I heard the interviewer ask at all. Let's listen to that part again. I'm at 18 minutes, 5 seconds. So let's go to right here, 18.
In other words, it all added up to you. It made sense to you.
I mean, I'm not a detective. If she had heart surgery, I'm not going to question the heart surgeon. I don't know anything about detective work at all.
Right, but it's your wife. I mean, it's, and them telling you her life has ended.
Are you trying to ask me if I think somebody murdered her?
That's not what the guy was implying, but douchebag wants to take it there. Wow. Twisting the words around.
Do you think anybody murdered her?
No.
Yay!
We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. There is a lot more of News Nation's exclusive interview with John Paul Miller coming up, including questions about the very day after Micah's death, when John Paul disclosed it to his congregation in a bizarre sermon. A sermon in which he revealed private details of her mental health and referred to her suicide, but went to great pains to avoid mentioning her name.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina.
John Paul Miller explains that video coming up next. Just days before Micah Miller's dead body was found at the Lumber River State Park in North Carolina, Micah had served divorce papers to her estranged husband.
Those divorce papers were served no less than 48 hours prior, right?
And Pastor John Paul Miller. So perhaps it wasn't a huge surprise that Pastor Miller got a lot of scrutiny right after her death. Micah hadn't been gone a full day when the pastor delivered a sermon, a bizarre sermon to his congregation, a sermon
and he had her memorial service scheduled, not just the day, the time, and the place.
Announcing her death. And then inexplicably, he told the church that she'd taken her own life after a long struggle with mental illness.
You knew my wife was crazy,
and
right?
Things got even more unusual from there. During his eulogy to his late wife, Micah, he claimed to lay next to her dead body in the morgue and then claimed he tried to raise her from the dead. Here's how he put it.
Totally normal.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m.
So when do you use that word induced? Drug-induced. That's when you use it. So self-induced. Again, I think he just gave himself away. That she was rugged. That would make sense. Like chlorophyll or roofie or something. I firmly believe Micah's heart and soul are pure and beautiful. Yeah, Nico, 100%. The guy sounds exactly like my uncle with antisocial personality, except even less empathy. Well, but he's always trying to get everybody's sympathy for him. Poor him, you know.
And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me.
It's another giveaway. You wouldn't be going on adrenaline necessarily. I mean, sure, maybe it's not a giveaway. Maybe it's just the wrong word. He had a brain fart. But no, you're going on adrenaline when there's excitement and danger.
Me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't, y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally. And that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. I got this.
He's so gross.
To her body, and it's been down with her body about 4 times this week. And each time,
he's so gross.
Didn't hit me. I thought she was going to wake up. You know, I even tried to raise her from the dead one time this week.
Freaking pig. 100% pig.
If you've been curious about my self-furniture staff, or if you just placed your order and you're not sure what to use it on, stick with me.
Okay, so I'm going to read a couple of your comments here. Shocked someone might have offed her? What? And I firmly believe Micah's heart and soul are pure and pure gold, a beautiful soul and spirit. Absolutely. I agree. Psychopaths always want everyone to feel sorry for them. Well, it's all about them. Everything is all about them.
News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh asked Pastor John Paul Miller about those comments and those moments, and here's his reaction.
One of the things that raised eyebrows initially for the public was when you gave a sermon here and you announced publicly that she had committed suicide. And you attributed it to her mental health. Why did you feel the need to come out with that at that moment?
That's a great question.
Why did you feel the need to trash your wife And then again, he's buying time with, that's a great question. What a great question. I think this is where he breaks into completely unprovoked. Am I supposed to stay home and cry or go out with a friend or go to a bar? I don't know. I've never taken a psychology class. I don't know what to do when my wife unalives. If I stayed home, I probably would have unalived self. And then he admits to having the PI, saying that he stopped having the PI 3 weeks before she passed. And the interview asks him why he stopped. He says he ran out of money. It's hilarious. Wait, here we go.
And so, first, let's discuss why I preached that morning. Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Okay, so people have been asking that. So, have you ever taken any psychology classes?
Wait, I got to rewind this. 21 minutes is where I'm at. Okay, right there.
You gave a sermon here, and you announced publicly that she had committed suicide. And you talked about, you attributed it to her mental health. Why did you feel the need to come out with that at that moment?
That's a great question. So, first, let's discuss why I preached that morning. Is that okay? Okay, so
that's a great question. He never answers it. But first, let's talk about why I preached that morning. Is that okay? What an F-wad.
People have been asking that. So, have you ever taken any psychology classes or anything like that?
Very few.
Okay, yeah, I haven't taken any. So, I would love to find.
Okay, I've taught psychology classes, dude. You're such a douche.
On a book or a psychology professor or someone that could tell me the correct response when you spend 7 years trying to keep someone alive by just taking a few pills that their family tells them not to take. Then when they don't take it, they go into a hospital, their family takes them out, and then you spend 3 months trying to get them help when their family's telling them that you're evil and the bad person. And then it finally happens, the thing you've been dreading for 7 years.
He's the one who called himself evil and a bad person.
And you're trying to prevent for 7 years, then it happens. I don't know what the correct response is, right? Am I supposed to stay home and cry? Am I supposed to go out with my friends? Am I supposed to go to a bar and drink? I don't know what the right thing is, right? As a pastor, should I just get on my knees and pray? I mean, I want to die in that moment. And so
me die.
The next morning, I remember thinking, okay, if I stay home, I'm probably going to kill myself. I'm probably going to just go to heaven and be with her and be done.
So I called my girlfriend, whose husband unfortunately drove himself into a pool a few years back, and we went out and got sushi. So that I wouldn't stay home and take my own life.
Because I need to be around people, but I don't want to be around people and come to church if I'm not going to preach, because then I'll be judging the guy that's preaching the whole time, and I can preach just as easy as I can breathe. So I'm just going to go in the mode of what I'm normally going to do and just continue my life normally.
Wait, he does not know how to breathe. Like, I don't know how he still has oxygen when he's talking like that. He can preach as easy as he knows how to breathe. Okay, he really should put a sock in it because he says a lot of stupid crap. Psychopaths always want everyone to feel sorry for them. Did he say that the family told me not to take? Let me see. Should we go back just a smidge? I'm at 22 minutes 30. I'm going to go back to 22. See, I'm not sure what you're referring to, J.R. Nana Boomer.
Response is, right? Am I supposed to stay home and cry? Am I supposed to go out with my friends? Am I supposed to go to a bar and drink? I don't know what the right thing is, right? As a pastor, should I just get on my knees and pray? I mean, I want to die in that moment. And so the next morning, I remember thinking, okay, if I stay home, I'm probably going to kill myself. I'm probably going to just go to heaven and be with her and be done. Because I need to be around people, but I don't want to be around people and come to church if I'm not going to preach, because then I'll be judging the guy that's preaching the whole time. And I can preach just as easy as I can breathe. So I'm just going to
wait. So the reason that he preached was because he didn't want to be judging somebody else preaching. So there's his rationale. Why did you preach that morning, JP? Because if I didn't, I couldn't stay home. I had to go be in public. I had to be around people so that I wouldn't off myself. And if I wasn't the one preaching, somebody else would be, and I would be criticizing them. So in order to not be a critic, I had to do it. Makes perfect sense, MF.
I'm normally going to do and just continue my life normally. until I finally have to deal with what's going on. And so I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know the right response. I wish somebody had told me, in hindsight, if I go back in time, I probably would have done the same thing and still preached. And then the sermon was about leaving your legacy and the people you leave on earth and your memory that's being left. So I thought maybe that's God. Then I thought, you know what, Micah would want me to preach. That's exactly what she'd want me to do. She'd be telling me to do it. She'd be trying to force me to do it. So I preached. And then at the end of the sermon, when I made the announcement was made. And of course, I'm not in a clear thinking frame of mind. I mean, it's like, it's not like I'm, kumbaya.
Let me just say, dude doesn't have a clear thinking frame of mind. Kumbaya.
Got it all together. I said what I said because I didn't want them to think that it was because she's a bad person, or I wanted them to know, like,
I didn't want them to think she was a bad person. I just wanted them to think she was a complete freaking nut job. Not a bad person, just a whack.
If does anything that's out of character is because of her mental illness. It's not because of her. Like, she's a wonderful woman, full of integrity. When she's on her medicine, she's black and white, does the right thing, does not like the wrong thing being done, off medication.
Wait, she was a wonderful woman, full of integrity. Whether he was rugging her or not. Oh, what a scumbag. Let's see. I'm on my last page, and we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, he's about to state the part about how he was running out of money. And then he gets to the, God, that's a great question. What would I do differently? Hold on. It just gets better.
She's a totally different person, and I didn't want them to see her as someone that was bad. I wanted them to know it's just a sickness, like if you have heart disease or if you have, diabetes or whatever, mental illness, you need medicine to continue going forward. And so that's why I said that.
Also, something I found interesting in that moment, you said, before I tell you this news, I'm going to paraphrase here. I'm going to tell you this news, and I want you to leave. I don't want you to stand up and talk about it. Why?
You're not allowed to speak.
That's a great question. And that was actually intentional. Because the last thing I wanted to hear.
This incredible product dissolves oven grease and stubborn mold in seconds without any scrubbing.
That's a great question. So the interviewer is trying to nail him to the wall for being a massive control freak, for being a fascist. And he just tries to make it warm and fuzzy. Oh, what a great question.
Was people talking about my wife? I wanted them to go up and take it to Jesus before they start, doing what some Christians like to do and just chatter. And I didn't want to experience the extra pain. I didn't want to be mad at somebody in my church because I heard them say, well, I'm not even going to guess at what somebody could have said, but I didn't want anybody to say anything negative about my wife.
Yeah. Wait, leave that to me. I'll do all the negative talking about my wife.
Point of concern, let's say, for people watching, was when you gave a eulogy, was something concerning people that you said that you tried to raise Micah from the dead. And I believe at another point you said you laid next to her body in the morgue. Is that true?
I didn't lay next to her body. I couldn't. You can't lay next to her because her body's up on this thing. But I hugged her, and I sat on the floor, next to her and just talked to her for a while. But yeah, I tried raising her from the dead.
Wait, didn't he say that he laid with her 4 times? Oh, was he exaggerating?
If it had worked, we'd have a whole different story. But God forbid me not try it, and always wanted the rest of my life would it have worked. Right? Jesus did it. Elisha did it. There's a few other people in the Bible.
Okay, so he has a Jesus complex. Jesus did it, so why can't I do it? I had to at least try it so I could, leave no stone unturned. What a whack job. Yeah, he said he laid with her. Right, which biblically speaking, we know what that means.
So, yes, if somebody I love more than anything in the world has passed away, what I believe to be an early death, you better believe I'm going to try to, in Jesus' name, raise them from the dead. I believe in healing. I believe in miracles. I believe in the raising of the dead. I'm a one God, apostolic, tongue-talking, holy roller, born-again, heaven-bound believer in the liberated power of Jesus' name. I'm not ashamed of it. I believe in healing.
That was crazy with a capital K.
I believe in miracles. I believe in the raising of the dead. I'm a one God, apostolic, tongue talking, holy roller, born again, heaven bound believer in the liberated power of Jesus' name. I'm not ashamed of it.
What a joke.
Well, you can't argue that it would certainly be a different story if he'd been able to raise Micah Miller from the dead. Still to come. Remember the apology letter that John Paul Miller wrote to Micah Miller, apologizing and admitting all of the awful things that he did to her, like tracking her car, slashing her tires, posting a nude photo of her online? Well, now the pastor says he didn't do most of that. He says he only wrote those things at her behest. And he's got a message for all his critics out there who say he drove her to suicide. We're going to play it for you next when our News Nation exclusive interview with Pastor John Paul Miller continues.
So as much as I don't like Ashley Banfield, in this moment I like her. I'll just say that because at least she's putting this out there. So she's got her name attached to it. So I gotta show her some respect. Hats off to you, Ashley. What I really don't like is her whole thing with the Idaho 4, man. She's crazy with that fake letter from the fake Gigi in Arkansas, the fake human resources letter to Koberger that she says she has a copy of. Yeah, I think we would have seen it by now. It's been a year and a half. What would I do differently? Let's see. J.R. Nana Boomer. EMS raises people from the dead several times a day. It's true.
It is.
Emergency medical services does do that, J.R. Nana Boomer. It's 100% true. It's miracles every freaking day.
Always sad in retrospect to read the words of a person who takes their own life. But it's both sad and disturbing to read the words of Micah Miller that she wrote in divorce filings right before she took her life. She said that her estranged husband, Pastor John Paul Miller, abused her, quote, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, and financially, as well as physically. And she added, quote, in every way I can think of, end quote.
And for anybody who doesn't already have this kind of put together in your head, money is the way control freaks try to control people. Money. Okay?
Only days before she wrote these words, that husband sent her an apology letter in which he admitted to placing GPS trackers on her car, slashing her tires, and posting a topless photo of her online. Now, almost 3 months later, Pastor John Paul Miller is not only backtracking on that admission, he says he only wrote the letter to encourage Micah to, quote, take her meds, end quote. He also paints a very different picture of what his and Micah's relationship was like. Here's more of his conversation with News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh.
Rich
Would you
McHugh.
characterize your relationship with Micah as healthy?
Oh, man. When she was on her medicine, we had the greatest marriage you could ever imagine. We spent every day together. I don't know any other couple that spent every day. So we wake up, well, she'd kind of wake up before me, but, you know, we go work out together every day, 5 days a week.
Let me say, I know a lot of couples who spend every day together, okay? But when you work together and live together, yeah, you're going to have too much time together, and that's not healthy.
We eat lunch together every day. We would work together every day. We'd pick up the kids, do stuff with the kids every day. We'd go to dinner every night together. Then every night we would have our routine. So there's 3 things we would do. We would either sit in the bathtub together for 2 hours until the water went from steaming hot to ice cold. She bought this big air mattress we put in the back of the truck, and we'd go park somewhere here in Myrtle Beach where there's no lights. And
Wait a second. Sit in the bathtub together? Again, like she's a freaking child. She can't even take a bath by herself. How'd my thing come unplugged? My charger. Let me plug it in over here real quick. My phone was getting a little low. Don't want to take any chances with that crap. I got everything else plugged in. What else can go wrong, okay?
some hot chocolate, and we'd lay on the air mattress for 2 hours, or we would go out.
Wait. They would take a bath for 2 hours. They would have hot chocolate, and then they'd lay on the air mattress for 2 hours. Did he read her stories too? I'm going to bet he did.
On the beach with our beach blanket and lay there for 2 hours. But the point was, no cell phones.
What's all this 2 hours? 2 hours in the bath, 2 hours on the air mattress, 2 hours on the beach. What's the significance of that?
Just her and I. She would talk 90% of the time. I would talk 10% of the time, and I would just listen. And so every night.
Wait, she would talk 90% of the time. I would talk 10% of the time. What a pain in the rear end this woman sounds like. Man, he was so nice to put up with her, wasn't he? Being sarcastic, of course, and it's dangerous because, yeah, people might not realize. Like, she just talked nonstop, and he just such a good listener.
2 hours we'd hang out together, and so was our marriage healthy? It's probably as healthy as any other American marriage.
Have you ever abused your wife?
Never, not once in any way, shape, or form. I took better care of her than anybody could ever take care of her. I never asked her to clean the house, not once in 7 years of marriage. She never had to cook.
She never had to clean the house. She never had to cook. He just let her be a child with no responsibilities and just run and play and take 2 hour baths and drink hot chocolate and flop around on the air mattress or on the beach like a fish out of water. Holy crap, dude. You're insane.
Single meal. She never had to work. She was never harmed physically in any way.
In a letter or in an email you wrote to Micah, you apologized.
Yes.
Right? You apologized for tracking her.
I think I found the hack to get all the protein I need.
Okay, this is the part where he's about to say, God, that's a great question. And I don't know a pastor that would use God like that. Like, that's kind of, And then what would I do differently? Okay, let's get through this little ad. I apologize for the ad.
In 2024, I finally got to try Magic Spoon
For messing with her tires, for posting the picture. So that's all true, right?
So great question. I'm so glad you asked that, actually. If I wanted to lie about that, I would just.
Great question. I'm so glad you asked that, actually. And if I wanted to lie about that, dude.
I never wrote the letter, right? Because how can you prove that I wrote somebody's letter? There's no signature. There's no name. It's not in my handwriting. But I 100% wrote the letter. And I did it because the night that she was with me, the last night we were together for 4 hours, at one point, because the whole 4 hours I'm trying to get her to take her medicine. And then she said, my family doesn't want me to.
Wait, now all of a sudden, the last night that they were together for 4 hours. So this was the last time that he saw her a few weeks ago? Or was this after when he took her to probate court and then went in and talked to the judge after she was done?
Don't want me to come inside the house. Maybe it's your house, come inside. So if I would get to the point, she says, you know what? I'll take my medicine and I'll come home if you'll give me $10,000 and if you'll write me an apology letter.
So let me understand.
So she was blackmailing him. What a biatch. He's the biatch. He's a lying sack of crap.
This correctly. The email that you wrote to Micah, apologizing for hiring a PI, tracking her, messing with her tires, and posting a topless photo of her. You wrote that.
Oh, yeah, that.
So now you're saying that you didn't actually do these things.
I did the PI thing, but so over the years, what I've learned with her is when she's in a delusional state of mind, I have to play into it in order to get her back on medicine. So the first year or two, when she'd say something, I'd say, that's not true. That's not real. She'd get mad and blow up and, knock a hole in the wall or something like that. So then by December.
Oh, that feisty little woman knocking holes in the wall. I thought she would go out and shoot up the neighborhood. Isn't that what his father said, like 2 weeks after they got married?
December 2019, I think it was. We were watching TV and she just stopped and said, you're a double agent. And I said, no, I'm not. She says, yes, you are. She said, and I'm going to call the police. She said, you're a double agent. You've stolen my things. And I'm going to put you in jail. And I was like, oh my goodness, what I'll do. She hadn't been taking her medicine.
So just to be clear, you wrote this to Micah, but now you're saying you didn't do those things.
No, I did not slash the tire.
I wrote it, yes, but no, I didn't do the things that I wrote about. So 2019, he's saying basically that's the first time she made a police report about him. And then he's trying to say it was all her delusions, that he was a double agent. Man, he's a freaking dirtbag and a half.
I don't think there's a naked picture of her anywhere, ever. Anyway, I think that was just a made-up thing. And I think that her tire just got something ran over, from what I understand. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But I did hire the PI before. I did everything I could to stop her from getting a weapon, everything you could imagine. I hired a private eye, and I said, put a tracker on her car, and if she gets anywhere near a gun store, please let me know. I did everything I could think of.
If she gets anywhere near a gun store, please let me know. So nobody let him know on that day, according to him, because he never even saw the videos. He only saw screenshots of her at Dick's Pawn Shop. So, hey, Monica Michelle says, the pure disdain that I have for that so-called man. Yeah, he's a freaking monster, isn't he? Thank you for stopping the video each time, spews out some more BS. Yeah, and explaining his lies. Well, thank you, Monica Michelle. I appreciate that so much. And hey, Shan, I forgot to text you, late but listening. We'll have to replay crew later. Man, if you guys haven't seen Shan's live yet from last night, it was another brilliant one. I'll put a link to it in the description.
And
did that private eye alert you?
She never.
That day?
No, I had stopped paying for it about 4 weeks beforehand. Yeah.
Why?
So
run out of money and
wait, so the private eye that he asked to alert him if she ever goes close to a gun shop did not alert him that day because he ran out of money 3 weeks earlier and quit paying her.
people telling me that she was totally fine and I'm wasting my time.
So what do you say to the doubters and critics who say you drove her to suicide?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So wait, she wasn't with me. Because listen, with me, she didn't commit suicide. Apart from me for 3 months and with her family, she did commit suicide. One of the last.
With me, she didn't do it. When she was away from me, yeah, you couldn't stop her. A likely story, MF. Explaining his lies. Hey, Miss Shan, interesting replay last night. Yeah, looking at all that money, the grant money and all the finances, all the financial disturbance, misappropriation of funds.
I think she showed me a book she's reading called I Love Jesus, But I Want to Die. And I said, why do you want to die? She said, because I can't come.
I love Jesus, but I want to die. I'm going to look that up. I doubt there's a book with that title. I'm going to look that up later.
Because my family won't let me. That's what I say to them.
Still to come, there is no question John Paul Miller's behavior has seemed odd in the weeks and months since Micah died. And after the break, he tries to explain it, like why he dressed like...
She should have said his behavior seems odd in the upcoming weeks and months, right, Shan?
Spider-Man, and walked around his neighborhood, and why he was squealing like a child.
Walked around his neighborhood dressed as Spider-Man. I can't get over the way he does this all the freaking time when he's talking, like he's throwing those freaking Powerball things in the spider web, throwing the spider webs, you know? Like, he just won't stop with that. Like, he's trying not to do it in this interview, but he still does it. It's funny. Funny AF. Freaking Spidey.
While rolling around on the grass. And then, the moment in John Paul's interview that shocked our whole crew.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wait a minute.
So insincere. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What on earth led to this? All that next.
The luxurious hotel every day.
Sorry, you guys.
I mean, think about it. It's been over 2
Come
years,
on.
and still.
And I can't even skip that one. I'll just turn it down. Dude is a con. Yeah, he is. Okay, here we go. Back on.
When Micah Miller died almost 3 months ago, her family and her friends most certainly hoped that she'd rest in peace. But that has not happened. Since that tragic day, her estranged husband, Pastor John Paul Miller, has been the subject of whispers and rumors and rampant suspicion, even though the pastor hasn't been charged with anything. JP, as he's known to his family and friends, he's been very tight-lipped, saying almost nothing publicly about what happened to his wife and what happened between them before she died. But now he is talking, and he's talking to us. And he's answering all of our questions, even the ones that were uncomfortable and awkward, and the ones that made him cry. Here is his conversation with...
Crocodile tears. Sorry for what, JP? Exactly. Sorry for the crocodile tears.
News Nation correspondent, Rich McHugh.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so pathetic. I'm so pathetic. I'm so pathetic.
We really don't want people to think of feeding food
at least I can skip this one.
Oh man. Oh man.
Think. Buying
What's
time.
tripping you up?
What's tripping you up?
Just being able to tell.
Good question.
Just being able to talk about everything.
Being able to talk about everything.
It feels like people don't care to hear.
People don't care to
the
hear
truth. They just
the truth. They just want
they
their.
just want to go off of feelings and.
They just want their Scooby-Doo lies. They just want to go off of feelings. Like, actually, feelings are super important, JP.
I believe, whoever screams the loudest rather than whoever, has the proof.
I thought it was whoever talks the fastest.
Do you feel that you did anything that you would change? Do you feel any part responsible?
God, that's a great question.
Oh my goodness, he gets violent. God, that's a great question. Oh man, he is scary son of a biatch.
That's a good question. Wow, what a good question. Can I have a second to think about it? Okay. Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Can I get back to you on that one?
I know what I do.
Wait, that is just like NK. I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Oh, wait. I got an answer. I know what I do. He is unbelievable.
I know what I do. I would not involve her family when she's having mental episodes and is schizophrenic and is off her meds.
I know what I would do. I would isolate her even further than I did. Because if I did that, then nobody would know a damn thing. Sick.
Never text them.
We've seen you dressed as Spider-Man in videos.
Okay, let me just wait, hold on. I'm not Spider-Man.
Wait. It's good that he has that clear, that he is not Spider-Man, because I thought I was Clark Kent once, but
I can either confirm or deny.
To me, it says Spider-Man as the person who's texting me. So we've seen you in videos dressed as Spider-Man. We know there's a Spider-Man character in the back of your house somewhere. Her family wonders if you have identity issues and this need to align with superheroes. What's your reaction? What's the reason for the Spider-Man?
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever put on a Spider-Man costume. But
I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever put on a Spider-Man costume. This guy is just a freaking jokester. He's just clearly trying to muddy up the water. We've all seen videos. We've all seen pictures. The man, the pastor, the reverend would charge $100 per hour to show up at your kid's birthday party in his freaking Spidey costume.
Never seen me in the same room with Spider-Man, I will say that. And I don't know, people say stuff. Me and Michael would go to...
So you don't get in the Spider-Man costume? Yeah. I mean, you just sent me a picture with you and Spider-Man.
Me and Michael would go to Comic-Cons every year. We both dress up. Micah dressed up more than I did, actually. There are times I did dress up as she did. We love that kind of stuff.
I was going to say that too, Nico.
She was Wonder Woman. She was Spider Woman. She was Mystique. She was
There is no Spider Woman, you idiot. You're talking about Batgirl. But yeah, the actual identity. I agree. I think that's a huge part of JP's insanity is that he's closeted and he just can't deal with his own true self. And so he gets all freaking twisted, kind of like The Talented Mr. Ripley, if you guys remember that excellent movie with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow and Seymour Hoffman Phillips and Jude Law.
She was a lot of different characters.
So you're not even going to grant that there's something odd here?
No, I'm not. No. I put on smart in my class. I go see handicapped children.
For $100 an hour.
Love comic books and they're handicapped, and I'll pretend like I'm Spider-Man, and I'll take them a comic book and do videos with them and stuff like that.
One of the videos that has surfaced recently is from years ago. And I'm sure you know what it is. It's you're sitting face down on the ground and you're freaking out and you're talking about literally squealing about being eaten by ants.
Squealing is exactly right.
That you missed your family.
He's showing him the video of himself.
I mean, for viewers, for people watching it, the common thought is, what is going on here? And do you have a drug problem?
So
he definitely has a drug problem.
I fell out of a tree, a giant magnolia tree. It was like 300 years old.
It fell out of a tree.
12 bones. It was 10.
Wait. Have you guys heard him talking about that peach tree that he fed the fruit to, that CJ Crime Concepts channel content creator? He's talking about how his granddad got some freaking seeds from George Washington. Dude, he is out there.
I don't know if you count fingers. Yeah, it is count fingers. Anyway, I have all this metal in my body, and I'd never taken pain meds in my life, and I just had my body cast taken off. And so I took a little bit too much pain meds that day.
Oh, wait a second. He just had his fake body cast taken off. So you guys know he put on a body cast to go to court after he had to pay his ex-wife some alimony and child support to show up at court in a body cast to say that he couldn't pay her anymore. But I thought he was in the body cast from falling out of the tree. Yeah.
That's it. That's just what? Marcus said.
I don't remember any of them. It was 2017, 2016. And
could he be any crazier?
8 years ago, whatever. And
8-10, fuzzy math.
My family, my wife, Micah, and I, we started through an affair. And so we were both married to people, and then
we started through an affair. We were both married to people. Freaking dirtbag. He's having an affair with somebody that he knew when she was a kid, that he met her when she was a kid, and he was married with 5 kids of his own. And then he hired her as his babysitter. He performed the wedding services with her and her first husband. And then he tells her later that he knew that he was in love with her during that service when he did the duties of tying the knot for them. Sick freak, man. So what, wasn't she 18 when she married that guy? And then probably 20, 21 when she divorced him. And then married JP when she was like 23. So they'd been married for 7 years. 7 years of HE double hockey sticks, no doubt.
We got divorced, and I was missing my family because I'd lost my family at the time. And I was on pain meds, and it just all went together. But fell out of a tree, broke a bunch of bones, took too many pain meds. That was that story.
Not hallucinogenics.
What would hallucinogenic be? Make you hallucinate. Well, what makes you hallucinate?
Drugs.
Like illegal drugs?
Hallucinate.
Illegal drugs? I would never Traffic those, I mean. I don't even know what they are. Okay. How is the reporter not laughing? I can't. That was a great comment, Monica. Michelle, he was also her first husband's new BFF, right? And boss. He was also his employer. Talk about control freak. He was everybody's employer. He was Micah's employer, both at the church and the babysitting. He was his wife's employer. So then when he screwed her over, she lost her job. She lost her church family. She lost everything. How do rugs even work? What is a rug? You take those?
Drugs, yeah.
Oh, I've never done a legal drug my whole life.
Okay.
My whole life, never.
JCPenney's Black Friday in July is here. Thousands of
Never, ever, ever.
Stock up on
Oh, crap, that was a lie. I'm sorry, that was a lie. When I was 16 years old, one time I was in a truck with two of my friends, and they were both smoking pot. I didn't smoke any, but they do a thing called hot box.
Wait a second. Okay, I missed this part when I was watching this in the middle of the night. I probably fell asleep. So when he said, I've never done them my whole life, that was my first thought, is like, not even when you were 16 getting your girlfriend knocked up with your premarital escapades, church boy? But wait, then all of a sudden he remembers that one time when he was 16. Okay.
And so I got some of that. I tried steroids one time.
Ooh! Wait a second. He tried steroids one time. Did it shrink your junk, JP?
I remember President Clinton once saying that he didn't inhale either. Still to come, the fallout from Pastor John Paul Miller's blockbuster interview with News Nation. What does Micah Miller's family have to say about all of this backtracking and his erratic behavior? All of this strange stuff on the part of their former son-in-law. Maybe more importantly, what does law enforcement have to say? That's next.
We're just about done here. Did the interviewer already ask him if he felt responsible?
The backstory is big enough, dramatic or tragic or mysterious enough. It can eclipse the actual story, which in the case of Micah Miller is a healthy young woman's sudden and untimely death. There's ample reason to accept the official conclusion that Micah took her own life.
Not really.
Whatever led her to do it.
Not really.
But not everybody agrees. Here's what Micah's sister said to our Rich McHugh back in May.
So over here would be where her remains were found down the river, and then all the way through this trail, all the way up here, where her purse and her phone was found.
And this water is not moving; it's just stagnant water.
It's not moving at all.
So presumably, how would she?
There's no logical explanation with the.
Just keep it on if you could.
The theory of suicide does not add up to me, because you're telling me her body floated all the way down this stagnant water, and her lungs were all the way up here. We had to walk down a trail, a separate trail, climb through all this mud and trees and fallen debris to even get to where her body was, down the water. It's not like she could have, left her belongings and walked down the water and then committed suicide down here, and then somehow bullets and everything stayed over there. There's no logical.
Found up here.
There's no logical explanation for this.
Next week on our show, Micah's family responds to everything that you heard tonight from Pastor John Paul Miller.
Good.
And Micah's own words in a phone message to her estranged husband. And it is not what you might think. Be sure to tune in. But that's it for tonight. Thanks for being here.
It's a good cliffhanger, Ashley. Very good cliffhanger. So there's still a minute left, but I don't know if it's just like the outro music. Let's go ahead and listen, I guess.
Almost next.
It's probably just outro.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just shut that down. Oh my goodness, you guys. Thank you for listening to that with me. I need to take a 2-hour bath and then flop around on an air mattress for a couple of hours, and then, flop around on the beach for a couple of hours. Get some hot chocolate and have some stories read to me. Wow. 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 So, what do you guys think? Is he the husband of the year? Does he win the award? Oh, I wanted to follow up with you guys. I did verify that Troy Teskey, the mystery friend of Hannah Gutierrez Reed's father, Thal Reed, Troy Teskey, the guy who dropped off the box of ammo at the police station without any explanation, he did work for the Bullhead City PD for 16.5 years. That's in Arizona. And he was also a judge pro tempore, TEMPORE. So I'm thinking that that's like a judge per diem, like a part-time judge, somebody who could fill in. So maybe as a police officer in that Bullhead City or nearby, he worked as a part-time judge. And he only got paid $20,000 from what I looked at as a part-time judge. And judges make a lot of money. So that's like very, very part-time. Oh, man. So the spin doctoring, you guys, these people, these expert spin doctors. Another thing I wanted to say, I don't think I said this at the beginning of the video, is that JP should hire Linda Luchetti, right? I think that'd be great. You know, you don't need to hire an attorney. You just need to hire a PR agent, you know, just like the, in Meredith Kircher's case, the Knox family, their knee-jerk reaction was to hire the most expensive PR firm in the entire city of Seattle. And yeah, that worked out well for them, didn't it? These people, you guys, these people that won't give up their lies even when they're caught red-handed. Sherri Papini is one of them. This man, this monster, this weasel, JP is one of them. NK, Scammy. They're caught red-handed and they have an answer for everything, even if it makes 0 sense or less than 0 cents. They think because they're flapping their lips and they're blowing hot air that they're filling the space and that's their answer and they're sticking to it. It doesn't make no sense, but you know, they're done. It's horrible. It's horrible. And then to find out that Scammy's parents are in charge of multi-billion-dollar projects for the 10 years from 2020 to 2030, it makes perfect sense why she was in the driver's seat and in control of that entire thing. Because nobody wants to piss off the princess of the billionaires. I mean, if you ever want to work again. And so last night during Shan's live, I was looking up all the salaries of these county employees for Nevada County and Placer County. And the first quotes that I put out there were incorrect because I was looking at just their financial compensation without their benefits packages and without their giant pensions. So I myself only found this out last night. Maybe a bunch of other people already knew it, that Shannon Moon and Placer County Sheriff Wayne Wu, those two were getting paid about $500,000 a year in 2022, 2023. And for some reason, Wayne Wu is the second highest paid sheriff in the entire state of California. The only sheriff that is paid more than him is the sheriff for Riverside, California. That county is where Palm Springs is. So the Palm Springs sheriff makes more money than the Placer County sheriff. Palm Springs is a really expensive area, so I can understand that sort of. But Los Angeles and the Bay Area, San Francisco County, I mean, all Napa County. I mean, these are some extremely wealthy areas, not to mention Silicon Valley. I mean, come on. These county sheriffs, Placer County, makes more than all those other counties in California. Something's up with that, you guys. And then Shannon Moon makes a little bit less, which is even weirder because Tahoe is in, maybe it's not in Nevada County. Nevada County, you guys, if you look at the map, it's really weird the way it's shaped. I'm going to wrap this video up because we're already at 2 hours, but I'll figure out a way to share that with you guys with my technological challenges. So Placer County, I'll do a little drawing. The counties are more like Nevada County is like that, and then Placer County like that. And then I forget the name of the one that's underneath Placer County. And then Tahoe is kind of like that. So yeah, Placer County would be, oh, you can't even see, can you? It's like all flooded out with the white. Okay, so this little circle represents Lake Tahoe. Oval on top represents Nevada County. Middle one represents Placer County. And the bottom one is like Bullhead County or something, I forget. Something I'm not familiar with. But Truckee is in Nevada County. Placer County is actually where most of Tahoe is. So now it does make sense why Placer County is getting paid so high, because the money is in Palm Springs and Tahoe. That's where the money is in California. But you got all that other freaking money. Like, I mean, Silicon Valley, how on earth does Tahoe outnumber financially Silicon Valley? That makes zero sense. Except for that it has Interstate 80 right there going through Truckee. Lake Tahoe is 4 counties. Thank you, Watching the World. Nice to see you. Do you know the other 2? Nevada County, Placer County. I can look it up later, but I appreciate that. Well, yeah, because part of Tahoe is the state of Nevada. You know, that whole east side of Lake Tahoe is Nevada. Washoe County, that's the one that's the most southern. Thank you. And Douglas is probably the one in Nevada. Awesome. I appreciate that info very much. Did you like my map? I'll show you again, because you know I'm a talented artist, right? And you can hardly see it because of the way the white gets blinded, flooded out by the light, these crazy cameras. So here's where are we? There we go. Lake Tahoe, Nevada County, Placer County, and then this one would be the Washoe County. And then on the other side of Lake Tahoe is the state of Nevada, and that would be Douglas County. El Dorado is one, isn't it? Placer, Nevada, El Dorado, and Washoe. Thank you. I looked it up last night when you were posting those facts in Squirrels on Fire. Hey, very cool. Yeah, I was having a blast looking that crap up. And then when I started to realize that they were only showing the salaries without the benefits packages, which were almost a couple $100,000 each, and then without the pension, which was an additional to the benefits packages, almost another $100,000 for each of them. So the salaries that I quoted at first were way low, like almost half. And plus some of those figures were from 2020 and some of those figures were from 2022. I think the most recent that you could see was 2023, but that was hard to see because, you know, it hasn't been that long for them to have those numbers online. So 2022, of course, was the year that Kiely went missing. And Wayne Wu was an undersheriff prior to being sheriff. And that whole thing was all wonky and funky, and what happened to the sheriff before him and why that sheriff just kind of left on a dime. And then Wayne Wu was making probably more money as the undersheriff, maybe, than as the actual sheriff, which that happens sometimes. The undersheriff makes more than the sheriff, and that shouldn't happen. but it does. And there was a certain name for it, and I can't think of it right now. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with you guys because it's been a couple of hours. I love you so much. Glad the lives I'm still able to do engage people to research. Oh man, I was loving it. I was loving that you were live and I was looking stuff up that I'd never looked up before, or that it had been so long since I had. And yeah, I was excited to be, that's what I like about having two devices. I just have my laptop and my phone, so I can watch on one device and then look up stuff with the other device. I know some people have way more than that, like 3 devices or 4 or more. Shan, you probably have 4 or more, right? But yeah, when you're doing a live, it's hard to be looking stuff up. I know we all do it, but we try not to. We try to look it up and then know right what it is, already have it kind of mapped out before we go live. But it's also fun to do it in real time, and so that people that don't do that themselves can see this is how you do it. I mean, it's pretty simple. You just freaking Google or DuckDuckGo or Siri or whatever it is that you're using. You just look stuff up and then you talk about it. Take notes, give your impressions. It's good to get the straight facts as well as you can. But half the time, in my opinion, what I find through my Google searches is not accurate. So I think it's important to know what it is that you're looking for, and also to know the reliability of your search engine. So I know Shan has said that she's very partial to DuckDuckGo. Thanks, you guys. I was just curious to see why they had so many county IE involved. Watching the worldwide, they have Homeland Security, U.S. Marshal, FBI, and another one. There was another federal agency. In addition to Placer County, Nevada County, Truckee PD, in addition to the rescue squads or entities that they had out there. And none of them knew how to see a car that was right there. Give me an effing break. I am so suspicious of every single person in Truckee, of every single person that had anything to do with this case. It is so obvious, beyond reasonable doubt, a complete crock of bullcrap. Way beyond a reasonable doubt. Like, these people are criminals. 1000%. Like, what in the world is going on over there, man? It's out of control. It's so out of control. And yeah, Shan was saying, I'm glad I don't live in California. And I've lived in California a few times in my life, and I have loved it. I've absolutely loved it. But I'm really glad I'm not there, which is so sad. As beautiful as it is, which it is beyond beautiful. There were so many gorgeous natural landscapes, Southern California, Northern California, everywhere in between. I mean, you got the coastline, you got Joshua Tree National Park, you got Ansel Adams, Yosemite, as I used to call it when I was little. I mean, you've just got, Tahoe's heaven on earth. It really is, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. It's way more than it's cracked up to be. I'm not kidding you. It's one of those places that's above and beyond your wildest dreams, kind of like Hawaii. It's like a lot of places get hyped up and they're gonna fall short of the expectations, and then there's places that you just can't hype up enough, because you got to go there and see with your own eyes and smell the air and take the whole thing in. Is absolutely paradise. And then you've got that town called Paradise, not too far from there, a few hundred miles, maybe a couple hundred miles, that was burned to a crisp a few years ago. We all remember that, right? The campfire, I think, is what they called it, when Paradise, the entire town, burned to a sizzle. And then, whoa, weird, that just happened over there in Lahaina last year. Like, weird how these places that are like paradise, that are paradise, just get burned to the ground so they're uninhabitable, and then you can just start over. You can do your little smart city or whatever it is you're wanting to do. It's gross. It's absolutely, completely insane. Watching the World says, I was just curious to see why they had so many counties involved. They said that gave them more help, but apparently they felt no need to use it. Well, and my point is that with all that help, none of them could figure out a little car crash of a 16-year-old. Weird. So complicated. It was 40 years ago. Wait, what? People are pathetic. What was 40 years ago? The fire in Paradise was probably just like 10 years ago. Can you share what was 40 years ago? I am trying to wrap it, but I'd love to know what it is you're referring to 40 years ago. Maybe California was gorgeous 40 years ago. Well, I lived there the last time in the mid 90s. So what was that? Like almost 30 years ago? And it was still amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was living in San Francisco during that time, and yeah, gorgeous. I mean, for anybody who hasn't lived there or visited, you just don't know what all the hype about California is. But the problem with California is it's overpopulated, it's poorly managed. At this point, it's completely out of control. I mean, the homelessness issues, I'll stop right there. I just want to go on. There you go, Watching the World. Thank you. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. So real quick, because I know I've mentioned the Twinkie defense a couple of times on my channel since I've had it for a couple of years. The Twinkie defense is a real thing that happened in San Francisco. A couple of politicians that were in competition with each other, one of them unalived the other late at night in an office building, and he used the Twinkie defense. He invented it to say, you know, it was temporary insanity from eating all that junk food, and he got away with it. He got off. And I haven't seen the movie Milk, but that movie Milk that what's his name? Sean Penn stars in it and plays Harvey Milk. I think Harvey Milk is the person who invented the Twinkie defense. So for anybody that's not familiar, like that was a really long time ago. I think that was in the 70s. I think that that unaliving happened in 1978, somewhere around there. And yeah, when you say the Twinkie defense, people think you're kidding unless they know the story. And I didn't know the story until I moved to San Francisco as an adult in 1994 was when I moved there for graduate school. And I started hearing about the Twinkie defense, and I thought, like, oh, that's cute. That's funny. And no, it's a real thing. Oh, I nailed it. Oh, Granny Annie, thank you. I'm so excited when I nail something. I always try to like leave it open-ended in case I'm off, that I can say, well, I said I wasn't sure. 1978, cha-ching! I nailed it, and I haven't even seen the movie yet. I need to see it. Maybe I'll try to watch it this weekend. I've caught up on most of that Sherri Papini stuff, and it is fascinating. I highly recommend The Perfect Wife trilogy that's on whatever channel. Is it like Hulu or something? I was this old before I ever heard the Twinkie defense. Watching the World. I was this many days old. I know. And then when I said it the first time, you were probably like, WTF is she talking about? Is she making stuff up? Okay. So anyway, my point is that kind of like lays the foundation for the theory of what you were saying, Watching the World, about how crazy the GOVT is in California. Like only in San Francisco could you pull a Twinkie defense out of your rear end and have it fly. Give me an effing break. And Granny Annie says, I had just been in SF with Narc X #1. Ugh. And I do love San Francisco so much, but I hear, you know, the numbers of people relieving themselves in the streets is just off the chain, and I have no desire to know anything more about that. It's really sad. The homelessness problem in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Sacramento is bad, bad, bad. So On that, you guys, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much. This has been one of my longer lives, and I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. It's just about 1:15 in the afternoon, Eastern Seaboard time, and today's the 20th of July. Can you believe it? We're almost at the end of July already. Blessings and love to all. Absolutely, Shan. And yeah, I was so happy you went live last night. Thank you for continuing that when you're gardening 24/7. I know how hard that is. So, the only reason I can keep doing my lives is because I've hardly been gardening at all this year, which, I miss it. I keep wanting, like, even this morning, I was going to go out and garden a little bit. And I'm like, if I do, I probably won't do my live that I was planning since I didn't get to do my live last night. Oh, but before we wrap up, I do want to mention that I've reworked my freaking yoga thing so that it's a little bit longer, because for my masterclass, I had to make it fit in a 60-minute time slot. And so it was kind of rushed. And to do a yin restorative yoga class kind of rushed is very counterintuitive. So I redid it, and it's about 15 minutes longer now. So it went from being about 55 minutes to an hour and 8 minutes. So what is that? Like, I can't do math, 13 minutes longer, something like that. And I think it's better. So the one that is most recent, that I just did a couple days ago, is up on my videos. If you're interested in doing it, it's just the audio, I need to redo it because the audio is super low. And so I'll be redoing that. And then once I have it redone, then I can try to make a video of myself listening to it and doing it at the same time, so that you have the full instruction. If you want, I'm not trying to push yoga on nobody. I'm telling you, it is so rejuvenating and helpful and healthy and relaxing and enjoyable. I absolutely love it. So anybody who's interested, and I was going to do just like one little tiny yoga thing that we can all do right here, right now, because who has an hour to do yoga? Not all of us. So let's do, oh, did you hear that? My chest cracked just like doing that. But I'm going to just reach my arms out as wide as I can without knocking anything over. And then you can't see them because they're out of the screen. And I'm doing like the prayer hands overhead. And if you do the steeple grip like this, it's sort of like the James Bond firearm, but it has a totally different feel when you do it. It really is like of a higher power, the steeple grip, which is why it's called that. I guess because the whole thing with steeples is that you're up in the sky and theoretically getting closer to God. So we're not going religious. We don't do that here. However, try the steeple grip. It's so simple, and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's like, you can do it with your arms straight. You can look up, and then, when you, do that half moon thing, it's pretty cool. But I'll just end it with how I end every yoga experience, which is the prayer hands to heart. Sometimes you might want to do this over your heart, and just expressing your gratitude and thanking yourself for taking the time to take care of yourself, thanking the people that you're with for practicing with you. Thanks you guys for practicing justice and true crime here with me today. Love to you all. Have a great weekend. Adios, amigos. And sending you light and love. Just be yourself. I'm always giving the hot tips at the end, like drink your water, eat your protein, eat your veggies, get your fresh air, sunshine, exercise, rest. But really just be. Like, don't worry about any of it. Just do yourself. Just do you, and don't put pressure on yourself. Sometimes I think the best thing we can do is take it easy. Like, that's the best advice in the world. It's like, give yourself a free pass. How about that? If you want, it's 1:20 in the afternoon on Saturday. Give yourself a free pass to take it easy today and get stressed out about nothing. Do not allow any stress into your life if you want to take that invitation for a prescription for happiness and healing. I think I'll try to take it. I'm the one that needs it. I mean, I'm always doling out the advice that I need to hear myself. That's just the way it works. It's that projection thing, right? So you guys, peace out, love and light. Have a very blessed day and see you on the next one. Have a great weekend. Thanks again. You guys mean the world to me. Oh, Watching the World says, within the Lake Tahoe region, there are 2 states and 4 counties, Placer, El Dorado, Washoe, Nevada County. Oh, Nevada Douglas County? Weird. So Nevada County is when it's in California, and then it turns into Douglas County when it crosses the border. California, Washoe County, Placer County, California, El Dorado County. Could it be any more confusing? Thank you for all of that, Watching the World. That's awesome. Completely awesome to have that. I knew I read Douglas County in there somewhere. So yeah, I do like to have the cold, hard facts. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. Dang it, Nancy. Lovely to see you. All right, peace out, you guys. See